discretion is advised.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're out here at the shooting range today, getting a little trigger time. We've had some bad weather here, and we're expecting to have another storm come in. And so I figured I'd get out here for the day, do some shooting, because we do have plans to go out to the farm and do some hunting. Now today I brought with me the Daystate Alpha Wolf. This is in .30 caliber. I've been using this gun for just about 8 months, and so I figured it'd be a good opportunity to kind of give you guys my long-term review of this gun. You know, I've used it quite a bit from both the bench and out in the field, and I gotta say, you know, I really do enjoy this gun. Now, my initial experience with the Delta Wolf was the fact that it did take quite a bit of adjustment to the way that I'm used to shooting. The gun had a lot of recoil, and I think partially due to the fact that it really did have so much power. And what I was finding was the recoil was in some ways kind of unmanageable, especially at the higher power levels. Now you turn the gun down to pellet speeds, you know, around 880, 900 feet per second, the gun seems to be a lot more tame. Now I found with the Alpha Wolf that it is just a little easier for me to shoot. But I can say I've gotten this gun up to just about 100 foot-pounds very easily, and I use it primarily for coyote hunting, and I've been pretty successful with this gun at that. If I wanted to turn this up to closer to 100 foot-pounds, use slugs, it's a whole different animal. This gun does have quite a bit of recoil, but I found with the stock configuration, there seems to be less flex in the chassis, and the gun shoots a lot better, at least for me. One of the biggest factors for me when I go out in the field is to have a gun that is really kind of set up. You know, and that's why I come out to the range. You know, I like to set my guns up prior, get comfortable with how it's shooting, and that way when I go out in the field, you know, I don't really have to make any tunes or adjustments or anything like that. The one factor that I do like about this gun is, let's say I'm out on the farm and I want to shoot small game animals, you know, rabbits, ground squirrels. I can turn this down, you know, to a conservative level and shoot pellets. And then when I want to shoot, you know, slugs, I want to go up into the higher foot-pound levels, I can easily adjust this. And that, I think, is really where the onboard chronograph comes in handy. Now, I have tested this against my Caldwell. I found them to be almost identical as far as the speeds and what they read out, and so this chronograph on here is very accurate. And I like that because I can instantly, bring the power up and down, and it's only going to take a few shots for the gun's computer to really adjust for that. And so when we're out on the farm, I really like that factor about this gun, because a lot of times during the day I'll use it around buildings, use it for ground squirrels, rabbits, and I'll turn it down. And then towards the evening and into the night, we're usually going after coyotes, skunks, and that sort of thing. And so you want a little bit more power, and so I'm easily able to turn this up, and really all I have to do is adjust my scope. That factor, I really like having the onboard chrony. It's just one extra thing I don't have to set up when I'm out in the field or here at the range. A lot of times when we're out in the field, we've got to make a quick follow-up shot, and that's where the side lever on the Alpha Wolf is really nice. I like how it's in line with my trigger here. I can take a shot and make a really quick follow-up shot, and so I really like the ergonomics of where they've placed the side lever. The safety on this gun is ambidextrous, and I generally always use it with my thumb here. Really easy to turn on and off. I'll take it off with my thumb, put it back on with my index finger. It's convenient. I like the fact that it's big, and that's not the case with a lot of guns. Sometimes you got to fumble around. Sometimes it's back behind here. Sometimes it's in front of the trigger. But I really like the placement of the safety. My first real experience with electronic rifles was with the Daystate Pulsar. From there I moved into the Daystate Red Wolf Safari, and obviously now I'm shooting the Alpha Wolf. This uses a lot more battery. To give you an idea, with my Red Wolf Safari, I can go literally months of shooting that gun without having to plug it in and recharge that battery. This, on the other hand, tends to use a lot more battery, and so you want to keep that in mind when you go out in the field. You're going to want a source to be able to recharge it. Now typically when I'm out here on the range, especially when I'm out hunting for a couple days, I usually bring a power bank with me, and I'm able to plug the gun in between shooting sessions, top off the battery, because if you shoot this all day long, the battery is going to go down almost to empty. And so that's really my biggest negative to this gun, is it does use a lot more battery than at least what I'm used to. And so something to think about, something to keep in mind. I figured I'd pass that on, but shooting this for over 8 months, that's got to be really my biggest complaint with this gun, is the battery life. As far as shooting slugs out of the Alpha Wolf, I found it shoots them really well, and that comes into play with really being able to adjust this gun. Now I can sit down, I can spend a little bit of time with it, and typically what I found is this likes the 43 grains, it likes the 47 grain NSAs, and that's typically what I go with when I'm out hunting. But obviously for longer range shooting, slugs become more of a benefit, at least from my experience, and they shoot really well, right around 900 plus feet per second. The pellets tend to shoot a little bit slower than that. I usually like starting right around 880 feet per second, and I can kind of go up from there and really kind of check and see if I've got flyers, and really just kind of fine tune it. But that's usually a pretty good place that I start from. Over the 8 months of using this gun, I've had a lot of success with it out in the field. And I typically use this gun for coyote hunting, and I have been really successful with it. I've taken coyotes, out to beyond 100 yards with this gun, and I like 30 caliber for that type of hunting. Generally around 90 foot-pounds is pretty good, and a lot of my shots usually are not beyond 100 yards. I usually try to keep it in a little closer, 30, maybe 50 yards, and that's really kind of what I set this gun up for. Although it is more than capable of shooting long range, and I've certainly done it out in the field on rabbits, ground squirrels, that sort of thing. But ergonomically, you know, it's very nice. I don't typically like using it with a bipod, and really because it shoulders well. You know, it's got a lot of power in what I call a somewhat short and compact package. And that's really kind of what I want when I'm going out in the field hunting coyotes, because we're not always, you know, sitting. We're usually moving around through brush, and we're having to set up our stands in various different terrain. And so having something that's fairly short and something that shoulders well is really important. And I think the Alpha Wolf really kind of fits that package. As far as the accuracy goes, this is a very competitive gun. It'll hang with just about any of the top brands as far as competitive shooting. Guys that use these usually do really well in bench rest. They do really well in extreme field target, where you've got knockdown targets, you know, out to 100 yards. Now in 30 caliber, like I said, this gun does take a little bit of practice to get used to. 22, 25 caliber would probably be a little more tame, but the fact that I use this for hunting, you know, 30 caliber is really kind of perfect for me. That's what I like, you know, especially for a lot of the coyote hunting that I do. But this would be a gun that I would probably use for bench rest shooting. The accuracy that I've been getting, you know, is pretty good. And I'm not a competitive shooter. I like to come out, I like to do casual target shooting, typically 50 yards, and then I like to go out and obviously do hunting. But I do like to sit down at the bench from time to time, get used to the gun, you know, make any adjustments that I need to here, and that way everything is kind of set up, I'm used to the gun, and it's ready for me when I go out in the field. Well guys, I really hope you enjoyed coming out to the range with us today. We had a lot of fun. It was nice to get some trigger time with the Alpha Wolf and get to share a little more of my experience in the time that I've had it. This gun has treated me really well. I'm going to continue using it. We do have some hunts planned out on the farm. But if you guys have any questions about this gun, you know, feel free to reach out to Airguns of Arizona. They're more than helpful, and they know just about everything about this gun that you guys would want to know. And so I really appreciate you guys watching, and look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.